Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1, Prepositions and Directions.
Welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Hwakus and I'm joined by my friend. This week's lesson is all about my 5 senses. But before we start, let's sanitize our hands. It's important to do so that we can kill all the germs. If you don't have a sanitizer at home, please go ahead and use soap and running water. Today's lesson is all about letter O and handwriting. Let's go to page 13. Okay. We're going to practice writing letter O. Say O. 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 Off. On. Off. On. Off. Now we're going to try and write it on the blackboard. Just follow carefully with your eyes. We're going to start on top. Remember to go to your left. We're going around, down and up again. Start at the top. Remember to go to your left. Around, up and stop. Now we're going to ask our friend to help us to write a O on the board. Good. Well done. Wonderful. Can we go to page 13 to do our exercise? This exercise is all about writing the letter O. And there's an ox in the corner. Can you say ox? Ox. Now let's start at the arrow and go around and up until we join the dot. Once more, start at the arrow, go around, up and stop at the dot. And the rest of it is at the bottom lower part. There you can practice how to write your letter O. Wonderful. Can you do the second page? You can do that all by yourself now. Let's move on to page 14. There is a different exercise on there. Can you see the picture of the octopus? Octopus. It's having a beginning sound and it's O. The second one, if you say it, ostrich. What sound do you hear at the beginning? The sound is O. Wonderful. Now what you have to do is Draw a picture with the sound, with the same sound. So if you see, when you say the word and you can hear the sound, oh, draw the picture next to it. But now let's go down to the bottom. There's a picture of an apple. What sound do you hear? Is it the same sound? I wonder whether you can work that out on your own. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Let's move on to page 15. Yeah, you will enjoy yourself. I can see. What do you think this picture is made of? Oh yes, it's a snail. It does not start with the same sound, but it helps you to form the letter O. So start at the arrow and follow the dots until you come to the middle. Well done. Now do the second one and the third one all by yourself. That was great.
Hi everyone, my name is Shoshi and I am back. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, Lesson 1, Prepositions and Directions.
Welcome to my Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Hwakus and I'm joined by my friend. This week's theme is all about the 5 senses. But before we start, let's sanitize our hands. It is very important to do so the germs can all die. But if you don't have a sanitizer at home, please go ahead and use soap and running water. Today's lesson is all about handwriting and letter N. Can we turn to page 17? Let's look at page 17. What can you see? What picture is there? Yes, I can hear you. Just say it out loud. A nest. Yes, you are right. What sound does it start with? N is the name of the letter and the sound is N. 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 Wonderful. I can hear you can say it correctly. But before we do the exercise, let's practice writing the letter N. We start at the top. Always we start at the top. It's good to make a little dot so that you can remember how to go. We start at the top, we go down, up again, and we make a hoop. Go down. Let's do another one. We start at the top, we go down, up in the same line, and make a hoop again. Wonderful. Now our friend is going to help us to write the letter N on the board. Go down, down, Noah. Go down, up again with the same line and make a little hoop. Well done. I'm so proud of you. Now let's look at the page 17. We have got the first letter written in the box. Can you please take your pencil, hold it correctly in your 3 fingers, like this, and write the letter. Start at the top. Start at the arrow, go down, with the same line, go up and make a hoop. And then you stop. Try and keep the letter writing in the box. Try and keep to the size of the letter, and you can practice this all by yourself. Hope you have enjoyed that one. Now we move on to page 18. Let's look at the pictures of page 18. I can see beautiful pictures there. And some of the pictures are starting with the N sound. Letter N. And the sound it starts with is a N. So can we go through the pictures quickly and see which ones are starting so that you can color them in when you are done. The first 2 I will do for you, and the rest of the paper you're going to do all by yourself because you are excellent. Nose. Nose. It's for nose. And the next one next to the nose is the umbrella. Can you hear the sound? N, N, So you need to find out which one is the beginning sound and which letter sounds the same so that you can color that in at home all by yourself. I know you can do it. Can we turn to page 19? This exercise is very important because we are reading and writing from left to right. So please remember to start on the thick line when you do this exercise. Starting on the first one, I will try and do that with you. We start with the line down. Remember to keep the crayon or your pencil in the hand until you are done on to the end of this exercise. Don't lift up your hand. Just try and keep it in on the lines. Don't move it up until you are done. Wonderful. Don't remove your hand until you are done with that line. Then we do the next one. Can Noah help us to try and do that? Can you start at the left? He's just going to do some part for us to see how to do it. Okay? Just show us. Thank you so much. Wow. Well done, Noah. Now we can stop so that our friends can finish the rest of the exercise at home. Can we move to page 4? This is also a similar exercise. We start at the left and then we take the line up to the right hand side. So let's look at the pictures. I'm going to do the first one for you. There is a kettle and a cup at the end where you pour your tea inside. So when you start at the arrow, just keep your little hands on the line until you finish at the cup. Thank you so much. Do the next one with the banana up to the bunch of bananas and the baby crawling to the mother and this girl going to school. Well done. Do that all by yourself. I know you can do it. Well done.
Hi everyone, my name is Josie and I am back. My mommy used to tell me that I need to wash my hands and sanitize it to keep the germs away. Also, one thing you can remember is to sing the alphabet song while you wash your hands. After that, it will be super clean. I usually do it. And until next time, bye!
Scientists are racing to find a COVID-19 vaccine. Creating a vaccine usually takes years, sometimes even decades. More than 150 vaccine candidates are being developed worldwide. Some of the trials furthest ahead have produced encouraging results. Several possible vaccines appear to have produced an immune response with antibodies, T cells, and no serious side effects. Antibodies are protective proteins that fight infections in the body. Some T cells kill infected cells. Others help B cells to make the right antibodies to fight a virus. It's uncertain how long immunity to COVID-19 would last. 6 other human coronaviruses have been known about for years. Natural immunity for the most common 4 is quite short-lived and generally lasts a few years. A COVID-19 vaccine could require booster jabs after years or even months. Scientists are using a variety of methods to make a vaccine. Several human trials are creating vaccines using the genetic code of the virus. Other human trials, and some with animals, are trying more traditional methods, such as using a weakened or inactive virus. This variety might lead to more than one type of vaccine. Having several could actually be very useful, as each one may be more effective among different people. Despite the promising progress, it's not guaranteed an effective and reliable vaccine will be found. If there isn't one, the virus might eventually infect everyone. Some scientists are hoping to have a vaccine ready for limited use before the end of this year, but most are predicting mid-2021. Once regulators have approved a vaccine, billions of doses will have to be made. Then there's the tricky task of distributing and administering it on a global scale. Collaboration will be needed so the poorest don't miss out. Health workers could be at the front of the queue to get it, but who should be next in line?
Hello and welcome to Turning Point International. We have taken over London.
For 10 years I did it and I got burnt out.
Over time, eBay developed an addictive personality to escape depression.
There's some people, they take medication and it actually doesn't work for them.
India's Ranthambore Reserve in Rajasthan is home to the rare Bengal tigers. Every year, John Isaac, an Indian-born photographer, travels from New York City to document the lives of these majestic animals.
In the last 10 years, I think my interest has grown tenfold, and I'm very particular about the survival of the tigers.
His goal is to make sure that people everywhere know about the grave danger Bengal tigers face: extinction. John holds seminars and photographic exhibitions from his visits to Ranthambore to raise awareness of the plight of these tigers. He's currently working on a book to document their dilemma due to an increasing human population encroaching on their territory. According to John and wildlife experts, each tiger needs as much as 9 square kilometers to survive, just under 4 square miles. The relationship between tigers and people has always been difficult, but now, with much less territory to roam, tigers often wander into human settlements.
The conflict between the villagers and the tigers has always been there, and then government tries to compensate. If a tiger kills a goat or a cow, they pay a certain amount to the villagers.
In the past, tigers used migration corridors or routes followed by wildlife for travel between summer and winter habitats. Now these pathways have been taken over, by people who use them as living quarters and to reap firewood.
We are trying to work with the communities living around and trying to reduce their forest dependency so that we can conserve this corridor patch for the smooth and easy movement of tigers.
Jamuna Devi, a farmer, lives near one of the migratory corridors. She used to depend on the forest for grazing pastures. Now, thanks to a World Wildlife Fund initiative, Jamuna no longer needs to rely on the forest for her family's survival. The secret? Introducing new alternative crops closer to her home.
गई साल बोया हमने खुद ने और ये तो अभी ये गई साल बोया ये आया होया कांदा है हम 25 रोज को तो तारीख को तो बोया ही है और रोज में अंतर तो आगा फूलने लगा.
The success of this project has led to even more changes. Jamuna decided to plant fodder for her cattle on her excess land to further preserve the habitat of the tigers. She has also switched to cooking gas so that she doesn't have to collect forest wood for fuel.
जंगल में सब दुनिया ने जहाँ छोड़ दिया तो सब बे होगी कोई काम नहीं करा लकड़ी को भी नहीं करा जंगल में जाने से भी परेशान है दुनिया गैस भेज दिया सबन के घर घर में वो सभी सिलेंडर पकड़ते हैं और रुपया को कोई समझते ही नहीं है अब भीतर भरा लावे.
Climate change also has a direct impact on the habitat of tigers.
The last 2 or 3 years, they say, there's been a drought. The rains have not been regular.
Climate change is a serious problem in this country, even it's in the continent. So keeping these forest areas alive and protected is the only solution. This year we have raised a nursery of 10,000 saplings. Forest department have shown their interest. They bought around 2,000-3,000 saplings.
The idea is to plant new trees to replace those lost to severe weather conditions and human activity. Poaching used to be a major threat to Bengal tigers. But thankfully, the number of big cats killed by poachers has plummeted due to measures implemented by law enforcement agencies, resulting in less demand for tiger products. Especially the introduction of camera traps and digital apps, which automatically take photos of moving tigers and suspicious persons moving around in the forest.
Every time I hear something like that, I feel so good, in some ways, some things are working. And so this is what drives me to come and do this.